Hey everybody, Pete Gluzak here, Bass University TV. I'm on the water today. I'm wanting to show you guys the techniques that I use to cast, retrieve, and trigger strikes and pressure fish with a Carolina rig. Now, in previous seminars, I've talked about the tools I like to use, the components, the rod, the reel. I'm using a little baby brush hog today. I've got a barrel swivel, about a 4-foot leader. And I'm going to show you all the things I do with a Carolina rig that I think are going to help you in your Carolina rig fishing. One of the most difficult things with a Carolina rig is casting a Carolina rig. You've got 4 foot of leader material here. You got a weight up here. It can wrap, it can helicopter, it can cause you some trouble, it can cause you some backlashes, but I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, one of the first thing I do is what's called a lasso cast, what I call a lasso cast. And I point at my target. Now, I recommend you're going to point at your target no matter what, whether you're Carolina rig fishing, spinnerbait fish, doesn't matter. You start pointing at your target. And I'm going to do it in slow motion for you so you can see what I'm trying to accomplish here. So I'm pointing at my target, and I'm going to lasso, circle around my head, and before I initiate my cast. What that does is it keeps pressure, slight tension on your line throughout the cast, so that when you initiate the cast, it doesn't jerk that and cause that jerking motion, which causes a backlash. Here's the most common mistake I see guys make. They got a Carolina rig, they get it back here, and this is where they start their cast. And what happens is there's no tension, it's stopped. You initiate your cast, that causes a jerking motion on your spool, and that can give you the most problems. What that also does is it causes this to helicopter and can cause the leader to twist around itself, and you can get a leader knot. Many of you that have fished Carolina rigs before know what I'm talking about. You can get a knot here, overhand knot in your leader, and that's going to be the weakest point. That's where, if you ever have a break off, that's where it's going to occur. So you don't want to get any knotting, and this lasso cast is going to help you accomplish that. So I showed you in slow motion. Let me speed it up for you a little bit. Now we've got a lot of wind blowing today, which is good because that's going to challenge me in my casting. And it's the most difficult conditions. And I don't want you guys to run from the wind. I want you to learn how to use the wind. It's going to help you catch more fish. But what I've got is a 3/8 ounce weight on here too. And I want to mention that because that's lighter than a lot of people are maybe used to using on a Carolina rig. But I'll even go down as light as a 1/4 ounce when I'm in the shallow water. But in this case, I'm fishing 5 to 10 feet of water. I'm going with the 3/8 ounce. But the lighter the weight, the harder it is to cast. So let's do it. Let's do a lasso cast. I'll show you how it looks. Okay, you're going to point at your target, like I said. You're going to lasso around, and you're going to roll out. Now, what that lasso does is it keeps tension on, like I said. It's very similar to fly fishing, how you let the rod load in the back cast before you move forward with it. That's what we're doing with the Carolina rig. We're allowing it to load a little bit and whoo, and just smoothly roll into the cast so we don't get that surge, that jerking motion. So that's how we cast it out. One little trick that I want to share with you and it's all bait casting. When you make that cast, the spool's spinning, and if you simply rotate the reel like this, you know what that's going to do? That's going to increase some centrifugal force here on the spool. It causes it to slow down. So it'll reduce the amount of spool spin you get here. It'll reduce the amount of backlashes you get. So you'll see me when I do my casting, I throw it out and then I rotate during the cast. Slows the spool down just enough where I'm not dealing with backlashes very much. Now, when I'm working Carolina, this is the key, and this is really why we came here. That lasso cast, it's a critical component of fishing a Carolina rig. But what I want to show you is how I work the bait.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Gluzek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. From on the water to in the classroom, you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best. Subscribe to Bass University TV today.